Welcome to TELE, the television magazine about entertainment, health, news, Caribbean cuisine, and the hottest Haitian artists. TELE shares with you the talents of our Haitian brothers and sisters, and will feature the intimate lives of Haitian writers, singers, actors, sport figures, and entrepreneurs. TELE. It is a pleasure to have with us tonight on our show Mr. Joseph Macadal, who is the former chairman of the National Haitian American Elected Officials Network and the first Haitian American elected mayor in the state of New Jersey. Mr. Macadal is also the Nation of Islam's representative to Haiti. And we also have with us tonight Mr. Jacques Mohammed. Mr. Jacques Mohammed is the son of parents who migrated to the United States from Haiti. Mr. Mohammed earned a Bachelor's of Arts degree in finance from Morehouse College in Atlanta, and later earned a Juris Doctor degree from the City University of New York School of Law at Queens College. Mr. Mohammed is also a member of the Nation of Islam's legal team. Gentlemen, welcome to TELE. It is an honor to have you both here with us tonight.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the invitation, and I'm very glad to have my brother here with me, Brother Jacques Mohammed.
All right.
Thank you so much, Jacques, for the invitation, and thank you, Brother McIndow, for allowing me to share this platform with you as well, sir.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir.
Before we begin our conversation, can each one of you please tell our audience a little bit about yourself? And we will start with Brother Jacques Mohammed.
Okay. My name is Brother Jacques Mohammed. I was born Jacques Leandre. I'm currently an attorney here in New York City. And as Brother mentioned, I attended Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. And it was there I heard the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan deliver a pivotal speech entitled Add It Up. And from hearing that speech, I knew that my destiny, that my mission, and that the inspiration that I had received was to help our suffering people here in the United States and abroad, and specifically as well as our brothers in IET in Haiti. And for the last 20 plus years, I've dedicated my life to helping the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam uplift our people here and abroad. So I again, Brother Jacques, thank you for the invitation, sir.
All right. It's a pleasure to have you again. Mr. Macadal,
yes, sir.
You are not a stranger to our audience. Please tell us a little bit about you.
Well, once again, thank you for the invitation and for allowing me to share this platform with our great brother Jacques Mohammed, whom I've known since I would say 1996, and we have both been militating in the Nation of Islam. We are both attorneys. We are both on the legal team of the Nation of Islam as well. And as far as my education is concerned, I didn't get the benefit of going to Morehouse College to have the Black experience, so to speak. I was found at Columbia University in Harlem, New York. So being in Harlem was the closest I could get to the Black experience. But nevertheless, while I was at Columbia University, I was going to the mosque in Harlem, mosque number 7, and I always felt that I was getting more out of going to the mosque than I used to go to my classes. The reason why I was saying this, not because I'm trying to put down my education and whatnot, but the substance of what I was learning at the mosque really related more to me. I felt myself in it. I felt that I was learning more about myself, about my purpose in life, and I had a sense of direction. So as I was amassing all this, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of on a college level, to so that I can get a degree, I was getting the knowledge of myself uh, in the Nation of Islam, and that gave me a sense of direction and has caused me to go through those different paths in life up to this point. And as I mentioned, as far as the path are concerned, I ended up going to into politics and became the first uh, black mayor in the history of the county of Ocean County, where I was the mayor, and then first Haitian American elected official and mayor in the history of the state of New Jersey. And of course, in our nation, my understanding is that in the Nation of Islam, I am the first as well in this dispensation of time. Um, what more importantly, I also share with brother Jacques Mohammed that we're both family men, because that's one of the key element in the Nation of Islam, that until you are married, you are not practicing your full faith. Once you're married, that's when you're practicing your full faith, as far as a Muslim is concerned. So I am been married for the past 17, actually 18 years now, with three children, and I still live in the state of New Jersey, and you know, I'm practicing law, and I practice immigration law, civil law, criminal law, and of course family law. And I still find myself, finding time to do work in Haiti as a student representative of the Nation of Islam and uh, the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan. So we do work in Haiti through two organizations, the Respect for Life Foundation, and also, which, by the way, has been registered here in the United States. And then we also have the Combit Rempli Batimun, which is an organization that gears toward the economic and social development of Haitians. And before I close on what my background, I will also add that Brother Jacques and myself were in Haiti in from December 3rd, 11 to the 15th of 2011, with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan doing his historic visit in Haiti. And so we had different functions, but we were present with the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan and witness history together as well. So just wanted to share that.
Very good. Gentlemen, it's been 10 years now since the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan, as you just mentioned, last visited Haiti. And as you know as well, we are also marking the 12th year anniversary of that terrible earthquake that killed over 200,000 people in Haiti on January 12th, 2010. Can one of you please tell our audience what was the purpose of the trip by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the message that the minister wanted to send out to the Haitian people during his trip to Haiti?
Yeah, I'll start since I was on the planning team for that trip. And incidentally, at the time of that trip, I actually was still a mayor of that city called South Towns River in Ocean County, New Jersey. And while being a mayor, um, I was given this awesome task of being part of the planning committee for the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan's visit to Haiti. I was on several conference calls, which at some point we had the benefit of hearing from the minister directly. And then subsequently in November, I, along with the executive team of the Nation of Islam, went on the went before, they call that the advanced team. We were the advanced team going to Haiti to do reconnaissance, type of operation, just to making sure where the minister is going to stay, who he's going to meet, and um, just having a feel of the country and meeting with the police and several different security apparatus in the country. And so the purpose for that trip is no different than the purpose of the ministers going into different places and having had 3 world friendship tour before heading to Haiti. And the purpose, of course, was to spread the life-giving teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and inspire Haitians to not only learn more about their value, but also to live up to the legacy of our forefathers and mothers. The minister is very much connected with that legacy of freedom, justice, and equality for the Haitian people. And that's what our ancestors stood for. And the minister has been championing those principles. And he felt that it was important for him to visit Haiti to inspire our brothers and sisters to recognize the value in who they are and whose they are as well. And the minister also went to Haiti to see about the contribution that he had given to the Haitian people, because prior to visiting Haiti, the minister sent in April of 2011 a state-of-the-art water purification system to the people of Haiti, and that was a few months after the
earthquake.
Yes, exactly, January 12, 2010 earthquake. And the reason why the minister sent that water purification system was because a couple months after the earthquake, we learned that the Nepalese UN forces were dumping excrement into the Milbale River.
That's how the cholera, cholera happened to be in the country. We've never had that before.
Exactly. Yes. Never had that kind of strain of cholera before.
No.
And there was no question about that the Nepalese UN forces were responsible for that strain. And it was established through scientific investigation. And so that cholera claimed 10,000 lives, and over 1 million people were infected by it. And the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan saw fit to diminish the number of deaths to donate that state-of-the-art water purification system that was solar generated, and it was mobile. It could go anywhere, and it produces 30,000 gallons of water per day, and cost the nation about $135,000. So that was those were the 2 reasons why the minister went to Haiti. And of course, Brother Jacques was there. He can share some snippets of the reasoning behind it too.
Yes. Brother Jacques, talk to us about the relevance of that message. What did you, was that the first time the minister had been to Haiti? Yes?
Brother
was
Joseph,
that been before?
Brother Joseph is the historian when it comes to the minister in Haiti. But my recollection is that this was the first time that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan had set foot physically in Haiti. And the message, I think, was one of unity. The message was one of value. And I think what many of us had gotten out of the message was one of inspiration to
Mm,
help us Haitians know the value of who we are and how it relates to God and his purpose of freeing the Haitian people in 1804. And I think one of the most significant aspect, in my humble opinion, was the fact that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was able to speak to a varied group of Haitians, whether it was the business community to those who are considered or called indigent, or speaking to the intellects, to those who were considered illiterate, speaking to those or from the Muslim community, from the Voodoo community to the Christian community. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, in essence, spoke to all of the experiences of the Haitian people. And to this day, we are still unpackaging what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan brought to the island of Haiti. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is so humble that he felt that he was a benefit, that he benefited from the experience that the Haitian people gave him. And throughout the course of his stay, he said he was there to learn as well,
mhm,
as we all know, there to teach.
mhm.
So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's presence in Haiti is one that can't be underestimated, and the traditional history books will not talk to you about the impact of his visit.
Of
However,
course.
shows like this, Brother Jacques, Jimmy Jacques, shows like this will make sure that what happened between December 11th through December 15th in Haiti will be in history books for our children, children to be able to read. And if we go back and look at some of the uh speeches that the minister had made on that day, where Brother Makadal so eloquently translated for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, you will see that there was a certain vibration
Mm,
that was felt amongst the people of Haiti that cannot even be quantified or qualified in a book. You would just have to have been there to understand the kind of electricity that was felt. And it was a particular electricity based on a unifying message that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan gave to our people, and particularly our young people in Haiti, who were magnetized by the message of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
and what's so interesting about what Brother Jacques just shared with us, he did not just speak to those different entities in a speech. He actually met with them separately. He met with the business individuals who they are called the oligarchs in Haiti, and had very frank conversations with them in telling them that they should not be, fixating in importing goods from other countries into Haiti, and that they should strive to invest in local production, so that, in doing so, that will prop up the economy of Haiti, and the common Haitians would be able to have a better life and better living arrangement, because the valuation of the local production in Haiti. And I was there, and Brother Jacques was there as well, when that private meeting was taking place. And the minister was very stern with them at that time. And of course, whether they got the point that was on them. Obviously, they have not been following the minister's dictate, and we all know that the condition of the Haitian people on a yearly basis continues to worsen.
Deteriorate.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because of people who are living in Haiti and may have the may be speaking Creole, but don't have any sense of connection to the land and the people
Hmm.
of that land. So Haiti continues to suffer under the weight of those misguided and ill-intended oligarchs. So that was one group. He also spoke to the religious groups separately as well. He spoke with the head, the IT or the Voodoo IT or the
Hmm.
leader of the Voodoo community, Mr. Max Beauvoir or Doctor
Max Beauvoir was there at that time.
at that time.
Yes.
May his soul rest in peace because he passed away. And I had a very beautiful conversation with Dr. Max Beauvoir, in which they were discussing voodoo and Islam and Christianity. It was a very enlightening conversation, and he also met with the Muslim community and also the Christian community as well. And aside from that, he met separately with the parliament, uh, the senators and the deputies,
Okay.
and had a very strong conversation with them in terms of um, doing, acting and working in the best interest of the people, and he encouraged them to take very strong, bold position that regardless of how it may affect the bottom line of those oligarchs, and that they should be, those politicians should stand for those who put them into office. And so, and of course, he also met with the president of Haiti at that time. There was Mr. Martelly. As any uh, responsible leader visiting a country, it is always the right thing to visit with the head of that country, and that was the motivation out of which the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan sat and met with the president of Haiti at that time, Mr. Martelly, and again had a very frank discussion about the state of Haiti and his hopes for Haiti. And the last meeting the minister had was uh, at the Sean Moss, where Brother Jacques was there on deck, um, securing the premises and doing his duties. And myself, I was present as well, not only as a security, but also as an interpreter to of the minister's words. And I can tell you that I have never had sort of the experience before in my life where I felt that um, the life of the people were hanging pretty much on how I perform uh, the task of being an interpreter of the minister's word, because the minister's words are life-giving. These are words that are coming from God to a people who are yearning for the voice of God, for a message that would change their lives and put them in a better course. And here I am, the one to have to interpret that message.
You had a big task.
Yes, it was
Nature.
a major task. So I'm grateful to God that the minister told me last year, in November, if I'm not mistaken, that he was looking at that message from Sean Moss on December 14, 2011. And then he said to me that your translation of my words was very excellent. So that was his exact words.
Very
So
good. How was the 10th year anniversary? Well, before I go into that, how long did he stay in the country? How long was he in Haiti for?
he was in the country from December 11 to December 15.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So it was not a coming in and out. It was a time for him to see the people, to meet with the people, and to have all these meetings that you just mentioned.
Yes, and he went on the radio stations, Tele Caraïbe.
Okay,
Yes, Radio Tele Caraïbe. I think he went on Metropole as well. Um, and so he crisscrossed the whole Haitian society.
hmm
He made sure that he touched each and every one of them. He was at the Caribe hotel where he addressed the media.
Caribe Hotel.
Caribe Hotel,
Yeah.
precisely. Yeah.
How
So
was the 10th year anniversary of his trip commemorated? Was there anything done, a celebration in Haiti, or by the Nation of Islam to commemorate that 10th year anniversary?
yes, every year we celebrate the honor of Mr. Louis Farrakhan's visit to Haiti since 2016. We started doing that. Uh, 1 year after my being appointed by him in being his representative to Haiti. And I gotta tell you, every year we've been doing this. Uh, the um, the beauty and the involvement of the people have increased exponentially. And I say this because we started off in just one spot in Jeremy in 2016, and Brother Jacques. I think Brother Jacques came in the following one in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. Um,
Correct.
but in 2016, that's when we started. Uh, and then fast forward to 2021, which was the 10th year anniversary of the minister's visit to Haiti. We were in 5 different locations in Haiti. We were in Plaisance du Nord, we were in Port-au-Paix, and we were in Croix-des-Bouquets and Port-au-Prince, and then we were also in Jacmel, and lastly we were in Jeremy. Uh, those different locations had many people coming to celebrate. The celebration was done, with the involvement of we will have doctors involved to check on the health of the people. So we'll have a health fair from a physical standpoint, but also we'll from a spiritual standpoint, we'll pass on the message of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to our people there. And those children, those youth that we emphasize are in better position than I was when I was in Haiti. When I was in Haiti, and Brother Jacques could attest to that, I knew nothing about the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan. I never heard his name before. I never heard the word the Honorable Elijah Muhammad before, the Nation of Islam. I never heard even the name Islam before, much less Nation of Islam. So I came into the United States in my adulthood, still having never heard of any of those names. But those youth in Haiti are in position where not only they are hearing those names, but also they are speaking them, and they are learning about what those names represent.
Leve Haïtien l'esprit libre yo pour réclamer pays nous, c'est un baptême si la organisation combite rempli tête bâti moun réaliser diverses activités pour célébrer 10e anniversaire visite honorable ministre Louis Farrakhan en Haïti, jour 12 décembre 2021 dans la localité Lafont. Parmi ensemble activités yo, coordonnateur adjoint organisation Saint-Louis Biondi te rive brasser l'idée ak timon yo sous plusieurs facettes dans l'histoire pays d'Haïti.
18 novembre, bataille de voilà. Si bataille de non bataille de Vertière là, nous te prenons indépendance. Nous fêtons indépendance nous qui le nous fêtons en 1804. Donc qui ça nous te fait pour nous te fêter date ça? Qui ça nous toujours fait le 1er janvier? Soupe. Est-ce que nous comptons pour qui ça? Est-ce que nous comptons pour qui ça? Chaque 1er janvier, on va nous soupe jour Lakay. Nous la c'est blanc yo qui te gain accès. Yo dit jour on passe là avec nous pas qui doit manger. Là au fin manger jour moyen nous compte passer dans assiette là. Nous même qui travaille qui a cultivé jour moyen, yo pas nous doit manger jour moyen. Donc c'est pour raison ça nous bois soupe jour chaque 1er janvier. Les ancêtres nous yo de Salim, Boukman, François Macandal, les mecs ça yo mettez ensemble avec un paquet de jeunes. Et jeunes qui te fait bataille là. Pas de plus grand monde qui te fait bataille en 1803. 18 novembre là. C'est jeunes garçons, jeunes filles qui te fait bataille ça. L'autre pays qui gagne les jeunes, ils considèrent comme un pays qui est riche. Ça veut dire. C'est jeunes, c'est eux qui créent richesse dans notre pays. Grand monde pas qu'à travailler encore. C'est tout le monde ça demain qui va faire pays vivre un bon pays.
And we thank Allah immensely for having blessed us with that. And I want to add this very quickly before we pass on to our brother Jacques. One of the things that the minister said to me that has been my motivating factor in dealing in working in Haiti, he told me that the Haitian, Brother Macandal, the Haitian people does not need another religion. What the Haitian people need is freedom, justice, and equality. And then he said through love and unity. So while we know in our teachings that Islam is freedom, justice, and equality, the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan said that the Haitian people need freedom, justice, and equality. So yes, I am a Muslim. Yes, of course, my desire to represent the minister is in his fullness. At the same time, the instruction was to focus on the principles, not necessarily the religiosity. Like some missionaries go, they want to promote the name of a religion, but not the principles. So in our case, the Honorable Mr. Louis
It's the reverse.
Yes, in the reverse. He wants to focus on the principles, which means that the people can remain in their Christianity, but so long as they are espousing and living by the principles of freedom, justice, and equality through love and unity, then my mission would have been accomplished. So they can remain in their voodoo practice or whatever they are into, but those principles of freedom, justice, and equality through love and unity should be at the center of their lives. And if they have done that, my mission would have been accomplished essentially. So that to me has been my focal point. I do my very best not to be dogmatic or judgmental or trying to exhort one religion over the other. The principle is unity. We're striving to unite the Haitian people regardless of their religious persuasion, but the focus ultimately is for them to enjoy freedom, is for them to enjoy justice, is for them to enjoy equality through love and unity, so that they can have at last peace in Haiti.
Brother Jacques, with the work that is being done, that has been done, or is continued to be done in Haiti by the Nation of Islam, how has the situation in Haiti currently now, because you know we're going through some rough times with the gang violence and kidnappings, how has that affected the organization's work in Haiti?
Well, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us a methodology that can apply universally. And that methodology was, if you're trying to change a people or reform a people, you should think about putting a clean glass next to a dirty glass, and more than likely, people will gravitate towards the clean glass to get a drink of water as opposed to the dirty glass. So for us, it's a matter of setting an example, and as Brother Malkandal just mentioned, is accentuating some of the virtues and principles of our faith without necessarily saying you have to be of our faith to be with us and to help us to do the work that we're doing. And when we find our people in the condition that they're in, we also understand that there's a redemptive aspect of our teaching that we know works. You know, a lot of people are familiar with the story of Malcolm X, how he came from a drug pusher to a womanizer to a pimp to a petty hustler to be able to now, after receiving the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he was able to stand on some of the highest stages of civilization or human development, of academia, etc., after coming from such a lowly state. Well, there are many individuals in the Nation of Islam that have a similar testimony, and there are many who don't have that testimony but came from another horrific story, whether it's being in school for 12 years and not knowing anything about who you are, and acquiring or amassing a bunch of knowledge and resources and money, and not being able to assist your people. So we know, however, the redemptive and the reformation process of the Nation of Islam is one that's been battle tested and has been proven. So when we look at our brothers and sisters in Haiti, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan made a very poignant point, which was, we have the blood of Dessalines running through our veins. We have the blood of Makandal running through our veins. We have the blood of Toussaint running through our veins. We have the blood of Fatima running through our veins, which inherently makes us able to meet and overcome any obstacles in our path. And I say that to say, because during the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan lecture, where Brother Makandal provided the translation, when that point was made, you literally could see the light and the youth eyes open up. You literally could see when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says, I'm looking at Makandal, I'm looking at Toussaint, I'm looking at Dessalines. You could see that those who were in attendance, there was a renewed spirit in them momentarily, just for that brief second when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan made that point. And that change that we saw momentarily actually could be a lasting change in their lives, which for many of us, it was life changing to watch a young man who had death in his eyes. All of a sudden, you see light and life and power come into their eyes. Was very, very moving.
It was Vaudou.
C'était Vaudou.
And Bookman, a Muslim.
Avec Bookman qui c'était un musulman.
That started the revolution.
Qui a commencé révolution.
That gave us Toussaint.
Qui t'a ban nous Toussaint.
That gave us Dessalines.
Qui t'a ban nous Dessalines.
That gave us Christophe.
Qui t'a ban nous Christophe.
That gave us liberty.
Qui t'a ban nous liberté.
Where's Toussaint now?
Côté Toussaint Kounia.
Where's Dessalines
Côté
now?
Dessalines Kounia.
Where's Christophe now?
Côté Christophe Kounia.
Where's Bookman now?
Côté Boukman Kounia.
I'm looking at Toussaint.
Regardez Toussaint Kounia.
I'm looking at Christophe.
Regardez Christophe Kounia.
Looking at Makanda.
Regardez Makanda Kounia.
Looking at Dessalines.
Regardez Dessalines Kounia.
And you
C'est nous-mêmes.
rise up.
Levez ici, levez.
Take back your land.
Pour l'Europe,
Take back your heritage.
héritage
And protect your woman.
et protéger famille.
And that work is now extended into what the brother Makandal, who Allah has blessed him to form with the Respect for Life Foundation. So our work still continues even in the midst of what we see as darkness, but we know light is right around the corner. Our people can't remain in the condition that they're in forever, because we are innately born to be leaders, to be freedom fighters, and to provide an example for the whole world. Not for only Haiti, we're going to provide an example for the whole world, because I don't think we all have really unpackaged what our ancestors had done. We haven't really unpackaged it. The story really hasn't been told.
That's right.
It hasn't been told, because when you think about the horror, the terror that existed in 1804 and before that, and we were able to overcome that, that is monumental. That story hasn't even been unpackaged yet. And as we continue to unpackage it little by little, and we start seeing the beneficent of our people and what they've done, and knowing that we'll be able to do it again, that is very encouraging, and that actually warms the heart. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, in a very humble way, connected our youth to a past that many of them did not really fully understand the significance of. And many of us in the diaspora, we're just now becoming acquainted a little bit with the heroism of our ancestors. And we know one of the things we know in the Nation of Islam is that God is not impotent now. It's not like God created Makandal and Bookman and all of our heroes yesterday, and he can't create them again today.
Come on,
we know
now.
that he still got force and power, the same power
Teach,
that he had
Muhammad.
when he brought to birth Makandal, Toussaint, Henry Christophe, all of them. That same power that he had then, he has it now, and he's able to replicate what he did yesterday. He's able to do it today. A lot of times we think that, well, God only could create Moses 4,000 years ago. God only could create Jesus 2,000 years ago. Then after that, he lost all of his power. No, he still has that same power, and that same power is now being manifested through our people. So
Sure.
we're just happy with the fact that our Haitian brothers and sisters have been very receptive to Brother Makandal and the leadership that he brings on behalf of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to Haiti.
This is
What would be the one thing that you would say that you're most proud of from the nation that the Nation of Islam has established or been part of in Haiti?
Brother Makandal?
Oh, as far as what we are most proud of is the fact that the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan set foot in Haiti. He was received by the people of Haiti, the government, the religious leaders. This to me spoke volume because of the fact that the Haitian people have received, have seen so many different religious leaders coming to their country, and they always come with a preconceived notion that they're gonna convert these heathens, and they always have that holier than thou attitude over the Haitian people, not the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan in the Nation of Islam. At the airport at the Salon Diplomatique, where the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan was received, he was asked the question, as Brother Jacques alluded to earlier, what is the purpose for your presence here in Haiti? And the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan said that I came to learn from the Haitian people, and I also come to share with the Haitian people. And then he later on said that I want to learn voodoo because um, I know what Christianity is, I know what Islam is, but I don't know anything about voodoo. I want to meet with those who know about it to tell me uh, about this body of knowledge that is called voodoo. Now, whether you believe in voodoo or not, the man comes into another uh, person's or people's house and home. He wants to come and learn about your custom, about what you believe, about what is it that occupies your mind. He does not come to impose, but he comes to understand. And so I was very proud to hear the minister saying that, because to me, it shows a level of respect and level of humbleness. Um, and that is really what is expected from a man of God. And so that's one aspect. The other aspect is what the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan did in terms of going with the aim to unite and to elevate the perception of Haitians to Haitians, making them love themselves and teaching them to focus on the needs of the people. Now speaking to those in leadership, that to me resonated very strongly with a lot of people in Haiti. And I remember in 2006, 17, 16, I'm sorry, and 16 in May, in April in 2016, we were giving the task of going to meet with the Haitian officials, politicians, those in parliament. The minister had given me a message to them, really, which was a warning, in which I was tasked to uh, indicate to those politicians that if they do not do the work of God in terms of representing the best interests of the people, they would suffer dire consequence to that failure. But if they do the work of God by adhering to the interests of the people, not taking into account those oligarchs' needs and interests, then God will bless them and history will be kind to them. So those in politics, or those who maybe in the realm of religion, who heard that message from the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan in 2011 and subsequently heard it from his representative on the ground, cannot say that they never heard uh, any message uh, of divine proportion that would tell them to do otherwise than what they are doing right now. They cannot say they were not warned. And so we are proud of the fact that the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan had a chance to spread that positive energy, that divine energy that was permeating amongst our ancestors that subsequently led to 1804. That energy now have been emitted since 2011 with the visit of the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan. And every year we try our best to celebrate that energy so that the people can more and more learn about it and then find ways to implement it in their daily lives.
There's a big event coming up on was it February 27th, where the minister will be having a special is it a message on February 27th? What is happening? Gentlemen.
Yeah. I guess go ahead, Brother Joseph.
Okay, I'll start, and then I don't want to take too much out of your time, Brother Jacques Mohammed. So I would just share.
Either one. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
Brother Jacques, you can go. That's fine.
You know, I'm used
We'll
to
split it. How's that?
I'm used to deferring to my brother who has a mighty, awesome responsibility of representing the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan internationally. But February 27th this year, as we do every year, we celebrate the life of our Savior, the founder of the Nation of Islam, Master Father Muhammad, who was born on February 26th, 1877. And we commemorate his date of birth by convening in either sometimes in Chicago, Illinois, or Detroit, Michigan. We've also had Saviours Day in California. We've had Saviours Day in Atlanta. We even had Saviours Day in 1994 in Ghana, West Africa. But this year, God willing, it will be in Chicago on the 27th. That's on a Sunday, where the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is anticipated to give a message and make remarks on behalf of God Himself. So we're always super happy and delighted as members of the Nation of Islam around this time, because this is generally a time where we get to see each other, we get to embrace, although it's going to be very limited in light of COVID-19 Omicron variant and some of the safety precautions we have to take. But as a nation, we're just gearing up to hear the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan give what we know will be a pivotal, critical message to the world. So yes, that's happening on February 27th.
Now, Joseph, is there? I mean, this would be broadcast throughout the world, I'm sure. What about the Haitian community? Would there be a special message from the minister for our community as well, or what is being planned?
Yes, the message is universal in nature because there is a universal cry for justice in the world. And so we have that universal message. The Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan has that universal message, which he has been spreading, throughout the years. And so that message certainly is relevant to our brothers and sisters in Haiti. And we are looking forward to hearing that message. As a matter of fact, we are mobilizing to find outlets, media outlets, such as yourself, through which we can spread that message so that the Haitian people can have access to that message. And so we praying and hope that we'll have sufficient platforms where we can ensure not only brothers and sisters of Haitian descent in the diaspora in the United States would hear the message, but also brothers and sisters in Haiti as well.
Yes, bro. That's wonderful. Well, great. Well, I'm going to jump off topic there for a minute and go to Brother Jacques. We have the same name.
That's right. That's
You
right.
also have a show on that's called American Style Torture. Um, please tell us a little bit about that. I find it fascinating. Um,
Um,
I've
well,
watched a few episodes, and yes, it's very fascinating. How did you come about to do
well,
that type of
th-
show?
thanks so much, brother Jimmy Jacques, and I love your name too, brother.
I guess because you love your name, right?
But
Which one do you like, the Jimmy or the Jacques?
I like Jimmy's all right, but Jacques is special.
Special, huh?
But
Yes.
I actually during the onset of COVID-19, when everything seemed to have been shutting down, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan gave us instructions, and he said go into our chambers, and while we're on shutdown, doesn't mean that we shut down, doesn't mean that we don't read, it doesn't mean that now we're eating unlimited amount of food, or we're engaging in antisocial behavior. The shutdown, he said, we should use as an opportunity to build our will. We should use it as an opportunity to actually become better people. And one of the things that I wanted to do at the time during the shutdown was create some sort of organ where I would be able to communicate with other people, and I decided to develop a podcast. Because as I was looking at many of the social media platforms, I mean, if you want foolishness, there's tons of foolishness you
There's
can
plenty
find
of
on
that.
social media.
Yeah.
And I wanted to develop a platform that was quite different than that, so we started a podcast called All Men Are Not Created Equal. And with the All Men Are Not Created Equal, we wanted to go into various socioeconomic issues that came from a Black perspective. And one of the shows we had was American Torture. And the guest speaker was Terrell Muhammad, who was a young man who had spent close to 27 years in prison, and he talked about the fact that he was in prison, but he was in solitary confinement for the majority of his sentence while he was in prison.
I started, hanging out with the people in the neighborhood. I started doing petty crimes, burglaries, robberies, and then, I participated in a robbery that resulted in a homicide. I was sentenced to 20 to life. I was 19. My name is Terrell Muhammad. I've been incarcerated at one time in New York State correctional facilities for 26 years and 11 months.
And he talked about how psychologically, that kind of confinement really debilitates a human being, and the torture that is associated with solitary confinement. And for many of us who have never been behind those prison walls, for many of us who may not have history with the prison industrial complex, we go about life not realizing how much hurt happens in American style prisons. And
Hmm.
we wanted to highlight that, especially since we find in our communities a lot of our young people recycling within the prison industrial complex. But we also wanted to show them a beacon of light. Terrell Muhammad, although he spent nearly 27 years in prison, 25 of those years in solitary confinement, because he had accepted the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that was able to get him through those years of solitary confinement, and wanted to, provide a beacon of hope for many of the families who have young people who are in solitary confinement, who are confined or find themselves entrapped in the prison industrial complex. So we wanted to make that a front and center episode. And as you mentioned, his testimony was compelling. I mean, just to hear about
Yes.
being in solitary confinement and all of a sudden your mind start playing games on you and you're looking at chips of paint on the wall, and those chips of paint become figurines, and then you start
Hmm.
talking to the figurines as if they're real people, and then after that they take you out of solitary confinement and they place you in general population, but yet they hadn't provided any services, they haven't provided any treatment for you, and they haven't even debrief you. There was no time to decompress, there's no time to address the post traumatic syndrome that happened behind solitary confinement. So we wanted to kind of highlight the brother and his experience, and hopefully work on a movement to change how American prisons enact solitary confinement.
And just imagine, this is one individual. How many others
Mm,
that type of torture, that has taken that type of torture?
correct.
And the story that you brought, it was amazing. But gentlemen, I thank you both, Mr. Makadal, Mr. Mohammed, Jacques Mohammed. I thank you for being our guest tonight and bringing to light to our audience the mission and the work of the Nation of Islam in Haiti. Any last word, gentlemen?
Well, I just want to say, Brother Jacques, thank you so much for this platform. This was an invigorating discussion, and I hope your audience find that we were worthy to be on this illustrious platform that you've created. And I want to thank my Brother Makandal, for the invitation and to share this platform with him as well. And again, brother, thank you so much. And Haiti's on the rise. Contrary to what people are saying, contrary to
Mhm.
what the news is reporting, because God's people is in that little island of Haiti.
Brother Makandal,
You're on mute, sir.
you're on mute.
Praise be to Allah. Thank you so much, Brother Jacques. When I say Brother Jacques, I'm referring to Brother Jack Mohammed. So
Muhammad.
Jimmy, yes, sir, for making your statement and for accepting the invitation. I do know how busy your schedule can be. As an attorney myself, I can relate to that. And of course, thank you to the host, my cousin Jimmy Jack, for your good work in the community, using this platform where individuals such as myself and others can showcase their experience in various aspects of their lives. And so I think this is very enriching and empowering for our community. And I want to extend my thanks to you on behalf of the Nation of Islam and the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan for having giving us this special opportunity. Once again, this is our second time gracing your camera and your viewers to have a chance to share what the Nation of Islam is all about, what is our mission in Haiti, and of course in the diaspora, wherever Black people are, and for humanity and those who are oppressed. And so, once again, I thank you so much. And just keep in mind that while Haiti is going through its turmoil, is going through its upheavals, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Because as the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan has been teaching us, there is an ending period to grace. God has given the enemy some of grace period within which to get its act together and repent and change. and that grace period has ended, and that's the reason why they are falling, and they are falling fast. Those who have been holding Haiti in its grip, they have been running out of options, and that's the reason why they have been found doing taking extreme measures of not only destroying the economy of the Haitian people, destroying their political stability, or whatever was left when our Emperor Jean-Jacques Dessalines established this nation, but getting to the point of even killing our president. And so we pray and hope that they continue to go down fast, so that our nation and our people can have a chance to breathe and to evolve and to live up to the promises that our founding fathers of Haiti promoted and stood for when they fought for our independence. Thank you.
It's something that says you can shake us, but you can never break us.
That's right.
That's right.
Gentlemen, yeah, on that note, it's been a pleasure having you both on the platform on TELE Lakay. Thank you, and we'll see you again. This is your platform, guys. There's an event on the 27th, and whatever ways that we can help, we'll be there to help. Thank you again very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay, God bless.
See